Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Facebook Live today. I see that we have a full house filled with viewers from around the world. We hope that you like this new time slot that we've tried today, and we hope that it enables a lot of users from different places to be able to join us when normally they may not be able to. So welcome to all of our viewers. I see that we have really people from all over the world. Jennifer from Ottawa, welcome. Victoria from England. Let's see, we have Karen from Minnesota. So people are even tuning in quite early in the morning. So nice to see you all and welcome no matter where you're joining from. We love seeing all of our viewers and some repeat viewers and some new. So whether it's your first time joining us for a Facebook Live or you've been at every single one that we've done since March, welcome and thank you for joining us today. I see that Lisa says, great time slot for Western Australia. So Lisa, that's exactly why we're trying out different time slots so that we get some of you Australians who have requested to be able to join on these Facebook Lives. So we're so glad that you're here joining us today. Welcome. And we have a great show for you today. Before I get to today's session with Thomas MacEntee, which is going to be very, very interesting, before I get to that, I just want to let you know that we will be offering a giveaway for today's show. So we'll be giving a MyHeritage Complete Plan to one lucky winner. And in order to win that, all that you have to do is just comment in the comment section and tell us about an experience that you've had with MyHeritage where you found it helpful. So we want to hear if you've done your DNA test with MyHeritage and maybe just found a second cousin who you connected with, or you had a smart match and you were able to see an old family photo of your grandparents that you'd never seen before. Any such story, we'd love to hear about them. So please comment in the comment section, and at the end of today's session, after the questions, we'll be giving away a MyHeritage Complete Plan. And for those of you who don't know, the MyHeritage Complete Plan is the best plan that MyHeritage has to offer. It includes free access to 12.5 billion historical records. In addition, unlimited family tree size, free and unlimited access to all of MyHeritage photo tools. So that's MyHeritage in color and the MyHeritage photo enhancer. So for anyone that would like to enter, as I said, please do tell us about some feature or tool on MyHeritage that you find useful, or things that you've learned through MyHeritage, and you just have to write that in the comment section. Also, I know this gets asked throughout the show typically, how you can rewatch these sessions because they're so useful. And most of our viewers really do want to go back and watch them again if they missed something or just to review them. So for anyone watching, you can rewatch any of our Facebook Live sessions on the MyHeritage Facebook page, facebook.com/MyHeritage under the video section. And we've done Facebook Lives for a number of months now with some fantastic sessions. We've had a few actually by Thomas MacEntee, which is really amazing. So you can watch all of those there, as well as today's session. It will be there after the show as well. So just so that you know, you can access all of the past Facebook Lives. And if you have ideas for a future Facebook Live, please let us know. If there is a tool or a feature on MyHeritage that you would like to learn more about and you'd like to see in a Facebook Live, please write in the comments and let us know. So now for today's session, we have with us truly a genealogy rock star, Thomas MacEntee. He's a genealogy professional that has been specializing in the use of technology and social media in order to improve genealogical research for many years. He is located in Chicago, so it's quite early for him as well. Let me bring him on and he can say hello to us. Hello, Thomas. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you? Can you see me?
We can. Thank you for joining us today.
Great. It's great to be here.
It's always a pleasure to have you on a Facebook Live with us, and we always learn something new.
Okay, great. So I'm watching on my phone and I'm not seeing myself. Oh, there I am. Yay. There's probably a delay.
There is.
So
I was going to say there's a slight delay.
yeah, good, good. Okay, well, great. No, thank you for this opportunity, and I'm really excited about this topic. I think it's going to blow some people away. They're going to realize, hey, I didn't realize I could use that for my genealogy research.
Fantastic. I'm excited. So should I bring up your
Yeah,
slides?
that'd be great.
Okay, let's bring them up here. There we go.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. And you'll interrupt me if something goes wrong or if I'm not showing something right, okay? Great. Thanks everyone for being here. This is You Use What for Your Genealogy, Wonderful Uses for Unusual Tools. Some of you may know that I was in the information technology field for over 25 years before I got laid off in 2008. So I've always been a bit of a techie, but I have a degree in art history and Spanish literature. So I've got that liberal arts side as well. My goal is to just sow the seeds of discovery. Also, this is my first slide. Need drives discovery. Why do we seek out new tools as genealogists? Now, to be honest, genealogy research standards, methodology, that haven't changed much really over the past 25 years. So what I'm committed to is looking for new tools, new apps, new websites that are going to help us not just find the records, but also incorporate them into our family history and be able to share that family history with family members. I don't know about your family members. They're getting more and more interested right now in genealogy, but usually if I talk to them, they're not interested. So I need to find new ways to keep them interested. Also, we're going to start to work just like our ancestors did. They were inventive. They were creative. They had to look for new ways of doing things to succeed. So I'm going to start with the basics. These are the basic tools that I use almost every day when I'm doing genealogy research, either professionally for clients, doing volunteer work, or working for my own research. The first one is, believe it or not, is Blogger. You may have a different conception of what a blogger is, what a blog person is who writes a blog. The MyHeritage blog is great. I read it every morning. I started a blog back in 2006. The nice thing is you can create a public site. It's very easy to do. It's what they call WYSIWYG, which is what you see is what you get. So it's easy to just type, add photos. The nice thing about it for me is it's been cousin bait. And by cousin bait, what I mean is it's out there. Someone searching for one of my surnames, plus the word genealogy family history, is going to find my stuff. Also, if you're worried about the privacy, you could create a private blog to share information with others in your family, but it's not going to be searchable. It's not going to be discoverable. Let me give you an example. This is the one that I created back in 2006. It's called Destination Austin Family. Austin is my mother's last name, her maiden name. And basically, I have gone and I have posted, I'm going to enlarge this a bit. I have posted a variety of photographs and stories about my family. And look at how it's rich with surnames, etc. And you know what? As soon as I posted this, I started to get inquiries. That is the main power. It's owned by Google. You have to understand what Google free means, which means you pay a price for having certain ads fed to you, etc. But it's been amazing. I've even been able to display my tree, and I've got my toolbox here in terms of research. So again, think about doing a blog. A blog is really one of those things where, there we go, where it really could expand your research, especially your research opportunities. This is one I bet a lot of people have not heard of. It's called Easy Bib, as in bibliography, not in a bib like you wear at Olive Garden or a restaurant or Red Lobster, okay? It's called Easy Bib for Easy Bibliography, created for research students, university students. You can create source citations for 50 different source types. We realize that you might not find something just on MyHeritage. So you might find something unique out on the web, and you have to cite it. It also creates a bibliography for you, and you save it in MS Word. Oh, by the way, everything I'm showing today is free, okay, or has some free element. And that's really important because I'm a cheap genealogist too, okay? So let me show you how EasyBib works. It has gone through various iterations. Lately, I'm not very happy with the format because it's got a lot of advertisements. But here's an example. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go to my history and see if I can find this one. There we go. Okay, there we go. This article right here. What if I wanted to cite this article? Or what about this one? This is a new one that I'm really interested in here. So if I wanted to cite this, I don't even know how I would write a source citation. EasyBib makes it easy. So I can go here and I can say, oh, I want a blog. And it's going to walk me through the process. I'm citing an article. It is a standard blog. The article title, I'm also the lazy genealogist. Did you guys know this? Watch. I'm clicking 3 times and it selects the whole line. I know. Go ahead and put in the article title. I'm going to enlarge this a little bit so you can see it more. Okay, who's the author? Well, let's see. I bet you it's, oh, so it just says Legacy Tree Genealogist. So it's probably not an author. There we go. I'm sorry. So I'm not going to put in an author. Publication info. It's MyHeritage blog. I could probably say English. It's MyHeritage. And I have to put the URL. Now I can put the URL of the blog, or I prefer the URL of the entire article. Okay, when was it published? This is important for source citation. So 8 September 2020. And again, I'm sorry for the flipping back and forth, but we know that's how we work, right, as genealogists. So I'm going to go ahead and say September, and it's 2020. And you have all these other options down here, but I'm going to go ahead and complete my citation. And this is what it comes up with right here. Spanish naming conventions, everything you need to know. And what can I do with this? I can copy it. I can edit it. I can export it. You can export it to different formats. You can share it, etc. Okay, so that's called EasyBib. And it's an easy way to create MLA, which is a standard for source citation. That's the standard that's used mostly in genealogy. Going back to our slides. So we've gone 2, we're going to go for number 3, Evernote. If you've wondered about Evernote, Evernote is actually free. It's what we call a freemium product, meaning it's got entry-level features that are free. And then it's got a premium. I do have the premium because I use it all the time and for my business. And I'm going to show you why you might want to use Evernote, the free version. It is basically a note-taking application. I can create to-do lists for my research. I can just keep different types of digital notes, reminders, calendars, etc. This is the big thing that I like. I can clip articles and records from the internet. Now, have you ever done this? Let's say you want to save this article from the MyHeritage blog. You ever gone and tried to save something in Google Chrome and it saves it as an HTML file and you get all these ads and stuff over here? Watch this. Up here in my browser, I have, it's called Clip to Evernote. It comes with Evernote. And watch what it does. It's going to go ahead and look at what it did. It highlighted just the article. It's all there in green. I'm going to save this clip. I'm going to add a MyHeritage tag to it. I'm going to add Spanish genealogy. I'm going to say surnames. And then I'm going to go ahead and clip the whole thing. Now you're going to say, well, where did this go? Let's go on to Evernote. And it's saving and it's saving. There we go. The other nice thing, look, it finds the other notes that I have related to this. I'm going to view this in Evernote. I know I had signed in. And look at this. Viola, there it is, right here. And I can read the whole thing, links and all, right here in Evernote. I don't get the ads. I don't get a lot of junk that's around it. Not that the MyHeritage blog has junk, but you know, sometimes you want to focus on the article. Here's other things. I have to-do lists. I have articles about DNA. I have notebooks. I mean, it's just an amazing, amazing program that I think is very undervalued. I'm going to close a few other windows here so I don't blow up the internet like this one. Hold on. And there we go. So Evernote. Evernote is probably one of the best programs, free programs that I use. And here's an idea. Here I am, I'm saving cards, I'm saving graphics. I saved that article that we just talked about. Now, Dropbox, I've been getting a lot, and I did 2 gigabytes. This is wrong, folks. This is 2 gigabytes is free. That's correct. That is the base now. Now, what is Dropbox? It's cloud computing. It's a way for you to store your larger items offline in the cloud. Is it safe? Yes, it's encrypted. It's secure. And so that's one of those things that you'll be able to do with Dropbox. Here's an idea. This is what my Dropbox looks like. And I've got here in the genealogy folder, let's see if I can go to it. I'm going to go to all files. I'm going to go down to my genealogy folder if I can find it. There it is. And this is where I have things like my ancestor sketches and bios and things like that. The nice thing is, I tell you, I just bought a new computer and I have a solid state drive. Now, the thing with solid state drives is they last much longer. They boot up much quicker. They are a bit more expensive, but usually with a computer, you get 256 gigs. The idea with a computer, with the newer computers and a solid state drive is you're working in the cloud. So something you might need to think about. I have switched over to the paid version of Dropbox. I'm getting 2 terabytes of storage for $99 US a year, which is competitive with Google. So it's something you might want to consider. I have all my genealogy research stored on Dropbox. The nice thing is it syncs with my mobile phone, syncs with my Amazon Kindle and other things like that. So it's easy to do. Google Drive, just so you know right now, Esther and I are doing this presentation in Google Drive. This was created with slides in Google Drive. So it's what I call an online productivity suite, similar to Microsoft Office. I was a certified Microsoft Office trainer for many years, and I find that the commands are the same in Google Drive and things like that. So this is what I've done right here, is give you an idea, is I've started to build all of my research logs, my family group sheets, family narratives. Now, you're gonna say, well, why would you want Google Drive if you already have Dropbox? This is the big difference. Dropbox is purely file storage and sharing. The nice thing with Google Drive is there's the creative part. You can create documents, slides. You can even create forms for people to fill out, like a family group sheet, and have it dump into a spreadsheet. So Google Drive is great. It's fantastic. It's free. But remember, it's Google free. And when I do the air quotes, this is what I mean. It means that there's a trade-off in your privacy when you work with Google. Google is going to search everything you do for keywords, and then they're going to feed you advertisements. And that's how they work and make money. A lot of millennials have no problem with this. If something improves productivity and increases convenience, then they're willing for that trade-off. A baby boomer like me, I'm a little bit different. So I feel comfortable with Drive for certain things. I personally would not put in my financial or any of my health stuff into Drive. That's personally how I feel right now. Google Maps. This one is crazy. I know in the day of Waze, and Waze, by the way, is owned by Google, if you didn't know, is that a lot of people use Google Maps for driving. But the thing is, you can create a customized map, and you can also use it for cluster and fan club research. Let me show you what I've done. I researched my Hennebergs who came here in 1891 in New York. They're my earliest immigrant, my latest immigrant ancestors. And look at what I did. Close some of these other ones. Great. What I did is I decided to put pinpoints as to where my ancestors arrived, like this one. So this is actually Richard Henneberg. I have the source citation. And basically it says this was his address in 1917, which is the World War I draft, the first phase of the World War I draft. So I have a date and a place for him. And so I've decided to map this out because then I can start to say, okay, who the heck is over here in Newark? Why is a Henneberg in Newark? Did they just not get along with the family? Was there an opportunity? I know that Newark was a center for jewelry manufacturing in the 1890s and 1900s. So that may have been, did I have a jeweler in the family or someone that did that type of work? This is why maps are so important, so that we can see this over time. The other thing is, this is also going to blow your mind. Henneberg's Sorry I didn't have this up. But if you have a site, a website, like I do on Weebly, this is my family history site for my Hennebergs. This is free as well, Weebly. Look at what you can do. You can embed that map into your website. So you can share it on Facebook as well. So this is what I'm talking about. This gets people involved. It gets them engaged, the other family members that usually are not very interested in genealogy. Great. Internet Archive, entirely underused. Over 20 million books and texts. The other thing is people don't realize this is free. There's a vibrant genealogy collection. You can get the United States Census microfilms, and there are 24,000 items. So what I do, folks, is I love getting my census images from MyHeritage, but sometimes you just get a bad image, and I want to go back to the microfilm and see the original. And this is what you can do. So you get all of this information. A lot of this is put together by the Allen County Public Library. They've got records, again, very US centric, and I will tell you that. Most of what I've done so far, I try and be, I don't want to call it agnostic, but the thing is I don't want it to be US centric, but I find that much of the content here is, although they do have, if you see right here, German, French, Portuguese. So this is called Internet Archive, and it's at archive.org, not archive.com. That would take you to an ancestry site, okay? So this is something I definitely have bookmarked. I have it up here in my genealogy research toolbox, and that's how I work. I always make sure, I have to check Internet Archive. Am I checking their free books and free texts? Because they won't always come up on a Google search. Perfect. The last one of our basics, and then we'll go on to ramping up to the next level, is the MyHeritage knowledge base. If you haven't checked this out, it's amazing. And the fact is, I love that it's in 10 different languages. You can search for anything that you want. The articles are amazing, and they're always up. And again, you want to get updated with the knowledge base. I've signed up, but these are amazing. These are not blog articles. These are knowledge articles that you can use to actually improve your use of MyHeritage and genealogy as well. Great. So now, are you ready for more? I hope your head hasn't exploded yet. There's the knowledge base. So we're going to leverage some not so obvious tools. The tools that I covered, most people could figure out that you could use them in genealogy. These are a little bit out there. Now, Facebook. Well, I do use Facebook all the time, to be honest. And I do use it. I search for surnames. I search for surname groups. I look for living relatives. I've Hennebergs in Denmark, which I never knew. But the main thing is, I find it's really helpful to be part of a users group. The MyHeritage users group I'm a part of, I'm really active in. I appreciate all the efforts of the volunteers and the administrators, but this is definitely, you can search here. Don't forget, when you join a group, you also have access to files, okay? And I don't see any files yet, but maybe not. So, but here, there we go. Let me go back here. And so the users group is really a great, great group. And this is what I use Facebook for all the time. I use it as a search engine. I look for groups, for pages, for posts from people that may mention maybe the ethnicity I'm searching for. But I belong to probably 100 different genealogy groups on Facebook, and I have the alerts, notifications turned on. So throughout the day, I'm getting my updates. Google Alerts, speaking of alerts, this one, let me ask you, do you do this? Do you go to Google and search for something like the same every month? You say, okay, it's time to search my Henneberg surnames. Let me see if there's anything new on Google. Well, how do you tell what's new? This is an amazing feature that's highly underused. So I'll tell you how I use it. So right now, these are my alerts, and I can have them sent to me in terms of email. So if I wanted an alert on, maybe on a surname, Henneberg genealogy. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and create the alert. Number one is you really do need to have a Google account. That's the only way this is going to work. Then you say, okay, do you want to get alerted? I do not recommend as it happens. If you hit upon something that got really popular, you would be bombarded throughout the day. So things like that, and then boom, it creates the alert, and it will send me every day things like that. Now, also this one, you might see this one. This is an odd address, right? Well, this is the home that my great-great-grandfather bought in the Bronx in 1920, and I wanted to get alerted. Now, why would I want to be alerted to this address now, 100 years later? Well, guess what? The house went up for sale. And the only way I found out was my alert. And I was able to look inside the house. I had not been inside that house since 1970. And it brought back a lot of memories. So you can have as many alerts as you want. And so I really recommend that you think about MyHeritage, not MyHeritage, Google Alerts. And you can use them also in different languages. Speaking of which, translate. Now, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to multi-language coverage, MyHeritage has it covered hands down compared to anyone else. But there are also times when you need to have a list of terms. So you can translate between 50 different languages. This is what I use it for. I have a cheat sheet or a list of common genealogy terms, such as birth, date, death, baptism, that I use for my German research. Okay, so like this, baptism is actually Taufe. So you know what I would do? I would then go back to those Google alerts and create one called Henneberg Taufe, so that I would see any Henneberg baptism related info that popped up and got indexed on Google. So this is why this is important. It's not a matter of translating stuff in MyHeritage. It's building up your comprehension of doing better searches out on the internet, focusing language-based. Now, I have to tell you, I have a love-hate relationship with Twitter. I never understood. I didn't see what it was, the whole, attraction, like when it came out in 2008 or whenever. But what I want to tell you is you can use Twitter as a search engine and you don't need to have an account. Now, why is that important? Because of this. This is back 10 years ago, but this is someone that located me on Twitter because I had posted this Shepmose, that is a New York Dutch surname, out on Twitter. And within 6 hours, we made a connection. It turns out he's my sixth cousin, 5 times removed. We've shared some information. So you can actually just go, and it's called Explore. And then if I wanted to, I could do Henneberg genealogy like this. And I could find, oh, guess who shows up? Yeah. And so this is what I'm talking about. Use it as a search engine. And again, it's cousin bait. If you do have a Twitter account, think about posting your genealogy finds. Also, MyHeritage has a great presence on Twitter. Wolfram Alpha, you probably have never heard of this before. It is not a search engine. It's a computational database. This is what you can find. You can find nicknames for names. You can look up the historical value of money. Unfortunately, it's only US right now. You can look up historical weather. You can look up dates. You can use it to calculate, what if you have a tombstone where it says so-and-so died on this date, age 78 years, 5 months, and 3 days. And you're like, oh gosh, I need to do math. Remember what Barbie said, math is hard, let's go shopping. So in this, it's so much easier now with Wolfram Alpha to calculate that time. Let me give you an example. I wanted to know what the nicknames were for Elizabeth. Okay, this again is a free site. I'm going to say Elizabeth. It assumes I'm doing a given name. It is currently the 13th most popular name for females. It shows you the use of the name over time. Again, this is US. This is based out of Indiana. This is the kicker right here. Alternate versions. Okay? And you can actually go to these and then look these up. So this is what I use it for, because a lot of times I would not even think to do like Alzbeta and things like that. So what I use it for is that. I could also say, let's say $1 1910. And it would be equivalent to $28.53 today. And it shows you the inflation factor. So I use this when I'm looking at diaries and letters of my ancestors, and I want to know, well, it cost them $1. How dear was that to them? How much was that really to them? So that dollar city directory was actually 28 bucks, which is, kind of high. So that's basically how Wolfram Alpha works. It's an amazing program. If you want a time suck where you can lose 5 hours of your life one afternoon, go visit Wolfram Alpha. Okay, Zillow. I think this might be one of the last ones. Now, Zillow is a real estate site here in the US. You probably have a real estate site in your country. Canada has one, and there are others. I think they might even have Zillow.ca. What I do is I search for my ancestral addresses and I set them up in Google. So basically, this is my condo here in Chicago. I can put that in, and it will give you, oh gosh, where are you guys? There it is, 1416 West Carmen. And there it is. And basically, it will let you go, usually if it's up for sale, it will let you go in the apartment, in the place, and look at that information. And it gives you other stuff as well. But I go in for the photos. I don't have photos here because it's not for sale. But it's also one of those that I really think, and that you can, and that's the public view right here. I'm sorry, I was looking at the owner view. And here, it shows you the building out there. Okay. And then also, the nice thing is you could probably look it up on Google Maps right there. Okay. So that's the nice thing about Zillow. Okay, Esther, believe it or not, and I told you about a half hour. I think I'm right on time.
You are so punctual, Thomas. So punctual. On the dot.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So how was that? How was that? What was your take on that?
Oh, it was so interesting. And I was just looking at this comment from Marguerite, and she says, "This is one of the best webinars I've ever attended. He is fantastic."
Great. Thank you.
We agree, Marguerite. We we agree with you. And I think so many users here, this is just so such new information that they may not have heard before. So it's just so interesting to see different resources that they can tap into.
Yeah. Yeah.
Besides for their MyHeritage account, of course.
Exactly. Yeah. I also just want to let a little plug for me. I have a lot of free stuff right now, a lot of downloads, a lot of free information at my site, Genealogy Bargain. So, take a look if you are so inclined, and I appreciate that opportunity.
Fantastic. And I'll just read out a few other comments here before we get to some questions. Jackie says, that was terrific. Thank you. Alyssa says, so helpful. Thank you. Deborah says, lots of great ideas. Need to check the Internet Archive for something today and try Evernote. And
right.
I keep an eye on both my parents' and my grandparents' houses on Zillow. So I guess that's something that she's already using.
Good. Good.
Let's see. We also have a few comments who talked about how they're using MyHeritage, which is just so nice.
Yes.
Michelle says, we have seen some wonderful photos of my husband's biological family, priceless for an adoptee. So really, really incredible to hear that. Julie says, my husband's parents were both born in small villages in Poland. We have been able to make many connections with previously unknown cousins by using MyHeritage DNA, some who we have been able to meet in person. Truly wonderful experience.
Great.
Love hearing stories like that.
So Esther, I posted my email again in the comments because a few people wanted my contact information, and I have the slide up on screen. So yeah.
Fantastic. And we'll also put a link to your site in the comments as well. And and for anyone that didn't notice, we put up a few times Thomas's handout, a link to that as well, that you could download, a cheat sheet, if you will, to today's session, so that you have it. And now let's get to a few questions. There have been some questions given forth from the audience. So let's see what we have. We have Kathy who asks, my mother's parents were from Poland and I can't find where they were born or the church they belong to. Any suggestions of where to start?
Now, I'm assuming, I'm not going to make the assumption that they're here in the US or another country if you're searching just in, but I'll give you the example of the problem I solved, a brick wall that I solved last month for Irish genealogy. The woman was here in US, they immigrated here in US, and right away she wanted to hop over the pond. And she didn't do her research here in the US and didn't get every document. There were actually multiples of the same gentleman's name. And so I would say that that's the important part. I think that MyHeritage has great, as far as I know, Polish records. The thing is, you could also join a Polish genealogy group on Facebook. Most of the genealogy groups that I've joined, Esther, have been very, very helpful, all volunteer run, great information. And to me, I'm not an expert in Polish genealogy. So what I do is I go out and I look for the experts. And one of the ways to do that is do it through Facebook, through looking for a genealogy group.
Great tips. We have a question here from, let's see, from Pat, and she asks, how do you know which DNA matches are on either your mom or your dad's side if you don't know and they don't know either?
Well, I would assume that you could use a chromosome browser for that. I mean, that's one of the nice features of MyHeritage DNA. I mean, Ancestry doesn't. So I think that that would be essential. Now, again, I'm not a DNA expert. I've done the tests on every company. But the thing is that, and I'm just getting finally into mine, but I would also go to the knowledge base on MyHeritage and look up the DNA articles. So Esther, is anything you could add on that?
Exactly what you said about the knowledge base. We have so many different articles about the various DNA tools that we have, the chromosome browser. I know that there was a past Facebook Live about triangulation by Roberta Estes, so that's a great one to go and check out. We have had a number of Facebook Lives about DNA, and I know this topic has been brought up a lot, so definitely check there and see what we have to offer. And as Thomas said, in the knowledge base, we have articles about auto clusters and about theory of family relativity, so some great DNA tools that you can start using there. Let's see what else we have here. It's funny, a lot of comments. Ellen says, I don't think Thomas ever sleeps, always finding things for genealogy.
Esther and I were just talking about this when we started today, right, Esther?
Completely. I agree with you, Ellen. I think Thomas is always adding to his list and finding new things for us to use, and I think that's what makes his Facebook Lives and webinars so interesting, because we're always learning something. So really incredible. I see Barbara asks again, can this Facebook Live be watched again later? So just to remind you all, I know I mentioned it at the beginning, that you can watch all of our Facebook Lives again on the MyHeritage Facebook page under the videos section.
So let me answer this question about Evernote that just popped up about Evernote going away. That has been a persistent rumor that they were going to go out of business or that they were going to be bought out, etc. This is why I think it's not true. Evernote, their competitor is OneNote, which is Microsoft. I used OneNote in 2000 and I absolutely hated it because, like a Microsoft product, it tried to assimilate everything on your computer and make it into a note. And also it ran heavy. I mean, it churned a lot. Evernote, this is why I don't think Evernote's going anywhere. They have a very vibrant third-party developer community that develops apps and templates for free. The size of that community is probably the same, if not bigger, than WordPress. And so I really don't think Evernote is going anywhere. The other thing is, if you change your mind on Evernote, you can export your Evernote data and import it into OneNote. No problem.
I was actually going to ask you that question next. So that was perfect. About unexpected resources, I see that Lynette wrote, which is interesting. Probably many have already searched YouTube for genealogy. For me, it has been an amazing source. Yesterday, I found an old silent movie from 1931 about the Elgin watch factory in Illinois. My ancestor was the chief watch designer there. There was a photo what did she say? There was a photo of a design that my ancestor had done, and I actually have that large drawing. So
Wow.
that's
Wow. That's
amazing.
great.
What a find there, Lynette.
Yeah.
Great find and good advice to look
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Lynette, that was great. That's a great story. And I'm not far from Elgin, actually. It's out here in the suburbs. So yeah.
Neighbors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we have time for one more question. I have a question here from Virginia. She says, I have a question on how to find my great-grandmother's parents. Apparently they were Quakers, and it's very hard to understand. Do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, Quakers, it's difficult to do Quaker research because they worked on they had a different church system than most church systems in the US in terms of their meetings, in the way they addressed each other, but they definitely had a different calendar, the way they noted things, and dates, etc. So what I usually do is I would go out to, I don't know, Esther, if MyHeritage has Quaker knowledge base articles. This gives me an idea. But the thing is, the other one that I usually use is the Family Search Wiki. The Family Search Wiki, run by Family Search. That's all you need to search for in Google. And what happens is they have probably the best beginner article on Quaker research. I would go there and also go to Facebook and look for a Quaker genealogy group. I know there's one. I've hung out there. And that way you can ask those questions, that you will not be made to feel stupid. That's what I love about these groups. But that's what I would do. I think right now you're in information gathering mode, and those are the two that I would do: Family Search Wiki, as well as the the Facebook group searching for Quakers.
Okay, great advice. I see still so many nice comments. Ray says, I will need to watch this again. Thank you for all the good source information. And let's see, Adriana says, thank you. So many great tips. It's just, the feedback is just coming in. So
Great.
thank you, everyone. It's so great to hear that what you've learned, and we want to hear also how you take all of this further. And if you learn something and you're able to find something in one of these resources that you didn't know before, please let us know. We'd love to hear about your successes as well.
Great. And again, Esther, thank you so much for this opportunity. You know, I love doing this. I'm a steward for genealogy. I like to sow those seeds and scatter them and see people really advance with their genealogy. And I think MyHeritage is a great platform, and I appreciate doing these Facebook Lives. Doesn't matter how early. I was up at 2 a.m. this morning. So yeah.
As they said, that you're always working on your genealogy,
yeah,
never sleeping.
I am. Okay, great.
And now we'd like to give our prize, one MyHeritage Complete Plan, to a lucky winner. So thank you everyone who entered and all the wonderful comments that we received, and we really appreciate hearing all your stories.
Yes.
And today's winner goes, the prize of a MyHeritage Complete Plan goes to Cornelia Mueller. And Cornelia said, both of my parents emigrated to Philadelphia in the 1930s from Germany. I found MyHeritage DNA matches for my father and mother's obscure towns, and recently found a member whose family lived in an 800-year-old house. I visited the house belonging to my fourth great-grandparent. Wow. I find more Europeans use MyHeritage than any other service.
And that's what I tell people, Esther, because I do German research. And I tell anyone, if you are doing European research, you just have to be on MyHeritage. That's it, you know? And so, well, congratulations. That's great.
Yeah, Cornelia, what a find. And we hope that the MyHeritage Complete Plan helps you further that research. And we'll be in touch with you through private message to claim your prize. So congratulations. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thomas, thank you again. We love having you here on our Facebook
We'll set
Live.
something up for October, I promise.
Definitely.
So. Okay.
Have a great day, everyone.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.